Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Knox Black, chilling with the top back, and I'd like to welcome you back to another episode of Black's Magic Arena. Now, before we get into today's video, I'd like to take this opportunity to wish everybody a very happy new year. I'm so glad and grateful that we were all able to make it into this year happy and healthy. And I'm just so happy to be able to bring this level of content to you guys and to be able to do this. And I'm just very grateful for another year of life. And I just hope that every resolution that you have, everything that you guys want that you've been working for a very long time, I just pray that this is the year that all of that comes to fruition. So just wanted to say that. Now we can go ahead and get into the content for today. If you guys have been following us for the first couple of weeks, you'll know that our format here is called the Black Magic Gauntlet. But if you're new around here, let me go ahead and explain how we do things. So every week we take 5 decks and we play them out Monday through Friday. Every deck is going to have its own day and they'll all play the same number of games. At the end of every week, we have a scoring system that we use to tally up these decks, and we have a spreadsheet that we use to track all of this information. And the top performing deck every week will be labeled our King of the Week, which is significant because this is the deck that we'll be using on Sundays when we stream on Twitch. And the purpose of that stream is just to see how far up the ladder our king can climb, right? We named that stream Laddering with the King of the Week. And it's just to kind of test the mettle of that week's king and see if it just kind of caught a hot streak on the day that we played it, or if it truly is worthy, something that's worthy of maybe crafting, or maybe building out and trying to see, if you guys can be successful with it, right? So today we do have a very, very good list for you guys. I'm actually very excited about this one because it actually uses a card that I've been trying to make work ever since the Avatar set came out. So let's go ahead and take a look at that for you right now. As today, we are playing some Gruul. Now, Gruul is just a code word for green and red. And this is a deck that we built around this card right here, Bumi Unleashed. This was the first mythic rare that I pulled when I started opening up avatar packs, and I very quickly had 4 of them. So I wanted to see if it was something that we could make work, and also I do think it has a really cool effect. When Bumi enters, we Earthbend 4. Earthbend is just simply we take one of our lands, turn it into a creature, and then because it's Earthbend 4, we put 4 +1/+1 counters on that creature. It already has haste because lands don't come with summoning sickness. But whenever Bumi deals combat damage to a player, we can untap all of our lands that we control, and then after that combat phase, there is an additional combat phase where only land creatures can attack. This card can be a finisher for us, but it's also meant to enable some of the crazier things that we want to do in the mid to late stages of the game. And if it eats a removal spell from our opponent, we're more than happy to do that in order to push our game plan forward. How are we going to get all of this accomplished and how are we going to make this card work? Let's start at the top. We've got 2 copies of the Gene Pollinator. This is a card that's going to help us to ramp. It allows us to tap any untapped permanent that we control, and we can add 1 mana of any color. Now, to be honest, we would rather see the Llanowar Elves because it's just a simpler and cleaner way for us to ramp. But the Gene Pollinator is also not a bad way to do it, and so that's why we have 2 of them in the deck. Obviously, Llanowar Elves is just a much better way to do this for 1 mana. Just cleanly gives us an extra mana on the following turn. Next up, got 2 copies of Snakeskin Veil. The calculus behind me only playing 2 copies of Snakeskin Veil is I'm not trying to use this card to protect our early creatures, right? That's not what we want to do here. We want to use Snakeskin Veil to protect our enders. So if we have to play, let's say for instance, like a Craterhoof Behemoth or a Goldvein Hydra into open mana, and the opponent wants to try to destroy those cards, this card is going to give our creature hexproof and a +1/+1 counter. So it's going to make those removal spells and exile spells and all the things that the opponent wants to do to try to disrupt us. It's going to make those things null and void. Next up, we've got 2 copies of Combustion Technique because I really wanted to have some level of interaction with our opponent's things. This is a deck that's really just focused on pushing its agenda and doing the things that it's trying to do. But sometimes you do need that bit of removal to come around and be able to interact at the right time with your opponent. So that's why we've got 2 of these in here. 2 copies of Iroh's Destruction, which can be a one-sided board wipe if your opponent is playing small 1 toughness creatures, or if they're doing the Badger mode thing and have a bunch of 1/1s on the field. This can be a one-sided board wipe, but also it can deal 4 damage to a bigger creature. So this can just help move some bigger things out of our way in order to allow us to push forward that final bit of damage. Next up, we've got 4 copies of Oh, That Badger Mole. I know you guys didn't think you were getting away from this card, did you? This is one of my absolute favorite cards still. I am obsessed with making it work, and I'm just gonna let you know going forward, there's gonna be a Badger Mole deck on the Gauntlet, probably more weeks than not, until they ban it, right? This card just allows us to Earthbend 1, which again, lets us take a land, make it a 1/1 creature. But also whenever we tap a creature for mana, we can add an additional green. So this is gonna help us get into those plays like the Bumi earlier to make bigger copies of our Goldbane Hydra earlier. And this is just a card that we're also not upset if it eats a removal spell, because we consider ourselves having gained tempo if we can get our opponents to remove this and push forward into our strategy. Next up, we've got 2 copies of the Abandoned Attachments, because I will not be caught dead without a way to draw cards in my deck. Okay, even if it's only 2 copies, even if we don't see it every game, this is a way that if we see it early, it helps us get into some of our early plays. If we see it late, it can help us draw a finisher. So there we go, 2 copies of Abandoned Attachments, plus it's a lesson which fuels the combustion technique and makes it more powerful late game if we do get them into the graveyard. Next up, we got 3 copies of the Earthbender Ascension. This is an enchantment that when it hits the battlefield, we can Earthbend 2, make a 2/2 land creature. Then we search our library for a basic land, put it on the battlefield tap, then we shuffle. But this card also has a landfall ability that whenever a land hits the battlefield, we put a quest counter on this card, and then once it gets to 4 or more, every time a land hits the battlefield from that point on, we put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature and it gains trample. This is a card that can be a finisher for us in that late game stages, especially when we combine it with a card like Tyvar the Pummeler. It can create like a miniature version of what the Craterhoof Behemoth does. So we want to see this card, we want to stick it on the battlefield and try to keep it somewhat protected by having other threats that our opponent has to answer first in order to allow this to create some inevitability later in the game and allow us to win. Next up, we've got 3 copies of the Mossborn Hydra. This is also one of our ender cards, a card that our opponents are gonna probably want to kill the second they see it hit the battlefield, because every time a land hits the battlefield, while this card is on the field, it's gonna double the number of +1/+1 counters that are on this creature, which is gonna snowball very quickly, especially if we get a couple of Fabled Passages into our hand. It's gonna allow us to end the game very quickly, especially because this thing already comes equipped with Trample. Tyvar, we already spoke about the bottom ability, the 5 mana ability. It gives all of our creatures a +X/+X, where X is the greatest power among creatures we control. So if this is the biggest creature, everything gets a +3/+3. If Bumi is on the field, everything gets a +5/+5. This combined with that Earthbender Ascension is, like I said, it's like a secondary version of the Craterhoof Behemoth. A bit cheaper of a version too. So if we can get this on the field, we also could be able to do a lot of damage with it, and it also protects itself. It gains indestructible as long as we have another creature to tap. And it just makes it very hard for our opponent to get off the field without sweepers, right? Even if they do have a sweeper, if we can tap a creature, we can give it indestructible. Sweeper doesn't work. Next up, we've got the Craterhoof Behemoth. We saw this card earlier in the week, but we've got 2 copies here because in this deck, you really want to see this finisher. This really is the big, like, haha, we got him. This creature enters and it gains, creatures that we control gain trample and gain +X/+X, where X is the number of creatures we control. So if we've got 6 creatures, this hits the battlefield, making it 7. Everything is gonna get +7/+7 and trample. This thing already has haste and it will gain trample. And this oftentimes is just game ending. Most opponents can't deal with that kind of pressure once it hits the board with a couple of creatures. And then finally, we've got the Gold Vein Hydra. This is a card that I've been fond of for quite a long time because in my mind, it's both a good opener and a good closer. If you see it early, it comes down, let's just say it comes down as a 1/1. It can attack immediately, it has vigilance, so it can also block immediately. And if our opponent kills it without exiling it, we get a tap treasure token equal to its power, or a number of tap treasure tokens equal to its power. So if we get it to come down as a 2/2 and it dies, we get 2 treasure tokens. This is also going to help us ramp a little bit further into the end of our game plan and to get things like that Crater Hoof on the battlefield. But if we see this card late, let's say, you know, it's turn 10 and we've got 8 lands on the field. This can be a 7/7, which at that stage in the game is, you know, a lot for the opponent to have to deal with depending on what else is on the board. You know, having haste. This could be a game finisher if we draw it. It's never a dead top deck, and that's the thing that I love about the Gold Vein Hydra. So as far as our lands are concerned, we got 1 copy of the Fire Nation Palace, which just gives our creatures, gives a target creature that we control firebending for. This can help us play some of our instant cards, you know, the Abandoned Attachments, the Combustion Technique. We've got 3 basic mountains, 1 copy of Ba Sing Se to go along with the earthbending theme here, 7 basic forests, 2 commercial districts, which allows us to have an element of deck manipulation where we can kind of churn through our deck and see if we want to see some different cards, or maybe if we're getting flooded with lands, we can, you know, put them in the graveyard. Next up, we got 4 copies of the Thornspire Verge, which allows us to get an untapped land at any point in the game whenever we draw it that can tap for either color of mana. 2 copies of the Fabled Passage to gather our basics, but also to be devastating with the Mossborn Hydra, getting us 2 landfall triggers. It can also be very devastating with the Earthbender Ascension. And then last but not least, 4 copies of Multiversal Passage. This is one of my favorite lands right now because it's also very versatile. And this just allows us to fix the colors in our hand if we don't have enough of the right thing at the right time. But outside of this, I think this is going to be a really spicy deck list. I'm very excited to see what it can do. If you guys have any suggestions of things that you would like to see me play or cards that you would like to see me try, I am a budget player, so I may not have all the cards, but if I think something is interesting enough, I'll make a way to go ahead and get it. So if that's the case, you can go ahead and let me know down below in the comments. But outside of that, man, let's go ahead and get into these games, and I will see you there. Did y'all think y'all were getting away from that Badger Mole? Not today. We're going to be playing the Badger Mole until the Badger Mole's banned. All right? So deal with it. But what do we got? We've got a Badger Mole on 2. We've got a bit of removal. We've got Bumi. And we also have Tyvar and a Hydra. This is actually not a bad hand. Opponent going first. I wish we were going first. But we'll take it. Nobody ever pays me into going first. Nope, don't need that. We need lands, please. Please and thank you. I'm going to use the Badger Mole in the commercial district. We need green. We're gonna pay the life. We're gonna Badger Mole. Badger Mole. And then next turn, I think I'm gonna play the Hydra, especially if we don't get a 3rd land. The Gold Vein Hydra, sorry, there are 2 Hydras in my hand right now. The Gold Vein Hydra is the one we're gonna play. So there is a 3rd land, which means we could play it for 3, or we could play a Hydra and get that going. Yeah, I think I want to do that, actually. Yeah. Are you willing to trade? You are not willing to trade. Okay. So now we can have, let's see, 2, 3, 4. We can make a 3/3 Gold Vein Hydra. Overlord! No! No! Alright, I guess. Or do I just want to get rid of their Badger Mole? No, I'm not going to be a hater. I'm not going to be a hater. We're going to get a 3/3 Gold Vein Hydra. That's what we're going to do. And if you want to trade your Badger Mole for my Badger Mole, I am perfectly fine with that. You do not. Okay. You got another one of these puppies? So, if I draw an untapped land, we've also got Bumi. How nice. Oh, well, there you go. Or if they do that. Yeah. Yeah. The what? Okay. Nar. What is this stuff? I swear I've never seen anybody do any of these things until all of a sudden right here, right now. This doesn't end the game though. If I play this and I play this, I don't want to use any of my treasure tokens. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I can't use any of my treasure tokens. We hold. There is a world where if all of this survives, big if, but if it survives, we can Crater Hoof next turn. Everything gets +5/+5, and we just win the game, right? Okay. Now he just wants to play that out, right? Because it's not leaving the battlefield right now. Okay. We might have something happen, especially if he attacks with it. Yeah. Yep, that's what we want. That's what we want. And that still has another turn to come back. Perfect. Perfect. And this allows us to keep another creature. Yeah. Wait, no. What are we doing, people? Use the treasure. It's okay. Use the treasure. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. Here we go. Crater Hoof time. Crater Hoof time. What you gonna do with that? What are you gonna do about that? Besides lose. How lovely. Good game. Good game. I appreciate the sportsmanship. It was a good game. Woo! I'll be honest, man. We got out of there by the skin of our teeth. But that is the reason why the Crater Hoof is in the deck, because it just creates that massive level of explosion. We'll take it. On to the next one. So the deck has started off hot. Not only did it win its first game, but it beat a Badger Mole deck, which means it automatically gets an extra bonus point, which we love. We love around here. Opponent goes first again because Magic the Gathering Arena hates me, you know? I don't mean that. Yes, we love that we drew the elf there first. We love that. Because now we can play the Badger Mole and probably the Gene Pollinator. We could have turn 3 Bumi. Or we could have a way to protect some things. But we don't want to protect our early creatures. It's okay. This still actually functions, right? Oh, well, no, because we can't. Wait, do we have to tap this? Yeah, we have to tap it in order to use that, so that's fine. Go ahead and take our Badger Moi. Go ahead and take our Badger Mole. But now we can start getting the Hydra cracking. Now we can start getting the Hydra cracking, and we've got protection for it. Next turn, we've got Bumi. And then we'll do something maybe we'll really like. United Battlefront. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Actually, I hate it. Another seam rip, of course. But of course, they had another seam rip. Is it really a tough decision? You wouldn't just take the Hydra, huh? Or you wouldn't just try to take the Hydra? Do I protect it? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think I gotta save it for the Hydra. That probably was a smart play by the opponent. We do get another land, the perfect land, actually. We actually got the perfect land. I'm gonna go more green. We're gonna discard. Are we gonna discard Bumi? Or are we just gonna play Bumi? They do run white, so I'm kind of afraid of sweepers, right? Let's just attack. Yeah. Part of me thinks they have a sweeper, right? Or they have a Corpses of the Lost. They think they're going to take something from me, don't they? You are not. You are absolutely not. Would you like to attack? They would. Shallow and pedantic. You better hope I don't draw another Fable Passage. How can I make this disgusting? Or do I get rid of it to try to find a land? I think I get rid of it to try to find a land, honestly. And there it is. That'll do her. That'll do her. GG's. Put up a great game. Put up a great game. Alright, so 2-0 for the Gruul Bumi deck. This thing is actually doing what I thought it would do, showing a lot of promise as well. All right, we move on to the next one. Perfect. So far, this deck has been absolutely perfect. We'll see if it can continue the streak that it's been on. This is kind of an awkward hand. We do have turn 2 Hydra. I think I got a mulligan this, don't I? This is interesting. At least we got a Surveil land. We can draw some cards on 2 if we don't like what we got. Bumi's got to go, though. We got 4 of them anyway. He's got to go. Because I don't know what I'm playing, so we might need this combustion technique. And Earthbender Ascension is going to help us to even be able to ramp into him in the first place. So we need to keep that. What is it that our opponent is looking at? Are they looking at, right? Are they looking at it all? Oh, man. You know? You got to love the Magic player who fires up a match without being prepared for said match, right? I'll take a Badger Maul. I will take a Badger Maul. I will do that. And once again, we'll use it on the commercial district. That's another reason I like playing these types of lands in Badger mode decks, because they become multi-usage. Perfection. And yeah, I think this turn they're going to kill the Badger mode, but we're going to get an Earthbender Ascension, start doing some more ramping. Green, pay, ramp. More green. This might be like a Dimir mid-range or Dimir control type of list. Oh well, actually they play green too, so it's not Dimir. The Spirit Oasis. I'm not entirely sure what we're doing here, but I love that we drew land there. Definitely getting rid of one of these, this Iros. And yeah, let's keep ramping. The more we ramp, the better. So one more land drop and this Earthbender Ascension is fully turned on. What is happening? What they're trying to do something that I don't understand. They're trying to win the game with some crazy combination of things that I simply don't understand. And it's making me think we've got a race. So with that being said, let's get the Badger mode. Let's go for broke. Let's absolutely go for broke. Because this, I don't understand. I've never seen this collection of cards. Of course. Of course. What are we doing here? Draining us, a whole bunch of stuff. See, now this is a spot where I probably wish I would have just played 4 copies of Desist that destroys all of the different, maybe it does artifacts, maybe it's not enchantments, but either way, we've got to figure out something quick, because this feels like we only have another turn at best in order to get something done here. This absolutely feels like the opponent's going to devastate us pretty quickly. We did get a land. They do have open mana. What are we doing? Okay. Give him. Okay. What else do we got? Nowhere to run. Okay, okay. Let you do what you do. Take out the Thorn Spire, yeah. Okay. It'll hit the battlefield again, though. And give it to him. Hit the battlefield again. Boom. Boom. Let's do it. Could put it there. Yeah. Swing big. Now they have to win the game on this turn. Which, based on everything they have on the field, they can probably do. I'm still completely in the dark about what we're going against right now. I don't know how they're supposed to win the game from here. Which makes it almost impossible. Okay, well, you could also just do that. Yep. That also does work. That also, the deadly cover-up will probably just go ahead and lay us low. Definitely don't want that. And we're probably just gonna what? Draw land here. Draw land in the game. Fear of Isolation. Northern Air Temple. Even though I think this game is, oh, okay, they're just gonna drain me out. That's really the whole game plan, is just to keep returning this and draining me out? I'm gonna be so upset if we lose to something this slow. But it looks like that's what's about to happen because, yeah. Kill that, I guess. That's what it feels like is gonna happen here. We're just gonna lose to this card. Just keep getting returned to the opponents. And yeah, over and over and over again. Well, isn't that amazing? Hopeless Nightmare is back. Isn't that just absolutely amazing? The way Hopeless Nightmare just returned like that. Did you guys like that? How Hopeless Nightmare just returned like that? Just that fast? It was supposed to be banned, but it returned just like that. Just like that. Hey, Abba, buddy. What's going on? What's going on, bud? We're losing this game, you know. We're definitely losing this game. This is really the plan. This is truly the plan. I mean, look, it's nothing if not clever. I just don't think it wins against a lot of things that are faster than us. Because they really should be dead already. Truth be told. Truth be told. Yeah, Crater Hoof doesn't do it. Oh, would you look at that? Would you look at that? Another Fear of Isolation. How unbelievably wonderful. How unbelievably wonderful. And now they have every card. Now they have every card. Good game. I guess this was the way that they were planning on finishing me. And I'm glad I got to see it through to the end. This is strange. I wonder how effective this really is against most decks out there. But it was effective against us, so nothing I can say about that. GG's, man. Alright, so last game of the video, and this deck is still in a very, very good position. If it can win this last matchup, it can actually be still be very strong this week in the Gauntlet. So opponents going first. They took a mulligan. We've got turn 1 Elf into Goldvein High, or no, actually into Earthbender Ascension turn 2. So we'll keep it. We will keep it. And what are we going against? We're up against the Ruin Lurker Bat. That's what we're up against. Gonna pay the 2 life here. Go ahead and play the Elf. Next turn, we're gonna Earthbender Ascension to get some more life. That's wonderful. Got the Essence Chandler online. We've got to hurry. We have got to hurry. So if that's the case, do I want to play the Hydra? They're probably gonna have a Shelter by Ghost, right? Something like that, to that effect. Let's play the Ascension. I'm not gonna play the Hydra into it if I think it's coming. Next turn we can't play Bumi. That is a thing that could happen. Okay, gaining a life. Gaining a life, gaining a life. Gaining a life. Alright. And we're already almost dead. How lovely. How unbelievably lovely. So gotta be the Hydra, right? I keep forgetting that there's multiple Hydras. The Mossborn Hydra. And we get that because I'm comfortable blocking with that. I am comfortable blocking with that. I don't really want to block with the Mossborn Hydra, to be honest. That's fine if that's all you can do. I'll take that. This just allows us to Earthbend. 4. No, I want to use this token, this treasure token. We're gonna bend the Bumi. See what else we can get. Combustion technique. Which does allow us to kill the flyer. We've got enough blockers, so we attack with the Hydra. And now if they can't answer it, this is a turn they have to be afraid to just attack in with everything, right? Unless they can answer it. If they answer it, they attack in with everything, no problem. The Exemplar of Light. Okay? Don't mind that. Don't mind that at all. But are you attack? You can't. You can't attack. Or, he said, I can't do what? I can do what I want to do. Do what I want to do. I can take the 3, right? Am I sure that this is mathing correctly? Because, yeah. Green enters tapped. It's gonna double that anyway. And that's gonna be game, isn't it? That'll do. GG's. Woo! That was tough. That was a tough matchup right there, but we were able to get it done in the end. We were able to get it done in the end with 2 life left. Okay, so this Gruul Bumi list was actually able to do some pretty amazing things in the Gauntlet, actually. Going 3-1, getting the extra point for beating the meta deck. Like, this is actually pretty impressive, to be honest with you. So, outside of that, let's go ahead and take a look at the spreadsheet and go ahead and tally this thing up for the week, see where it shakes out. I'll see you there. All right, and so looking at today's deck list, this Gruul Bumi list, I mean, this thing actually did a heck of a job competing today in the arena. I'm actually very surprised about how good it was. It was able to do 3 wins, 1 loss, and it actually did get a bonus point, and it's got a 0.75 win rate, and it's got 2, 4, 6, -1 is 5, +1 is 6. So this thing came from being an underdog to our current leader in the gauntlet. The only thing that can possibly overtake it now is Boros Tokens, which has been king of the week before, so we'll see if Boros Tokens has what it takes. But outside of that, man, if you guys stayed this long, I really appreciate it. If you could like and subscribe, it really does help out the health of the channel. And we'll be back tomorrow to go ahead and show off this Boros Tokens list, and then we can tally up and get us a king. So thank you for joining me. This has been Nox Black, and this is Black's Magic Arena. Peace.